Today.
All right, 9 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Well, we don't have our guest in the studio. Jim DeBerry was scheduled to be in here. He's the general manager of Wild Waters Water Park, and they have a ribbon cutting this coming Friday. And from what I understood from Robin, we were wrong in telling you that the public was invited to the ribbon cutting. It turns out this is something by invitation only, so we apologize for that. But anyway, it does mark the kickoff, I guess, of the new and improved Wild Waters Water Park. And we also are disappointed because the Gator Man was supposed to be in here with an alligator, and he has not come in. So those are two things. We'll hopefully have them on, and we'll be able to learn more about what's happening at Wild Waters Water Park. The one thing I mentioned this morning that I remember real clearly when Wild Waters first opened up here in Ocala. It was the first water park we had. I think somebody told me it was the first water park. I'm not really sure about that in Florida. But anyway, when it first opened up here in Ocala, it was definitely exciting news. We here at the radio station, that back in those days we were called WWKE. And we had this big advertising campaign to kick it off, and it is really nice to have a water park in our own backyard, more or less. And from what I understand, they have like a reptile exhibit over there, which is one of the things I wanted to ask about. I mean, if they have an alligator, I saw a video, an advertisement actually for the park, and I'm pretty sure that I saw the alligator guy holding a white, I guess you would call it an albino alligator, right? So, all right. So while Robin is trying to figure out what's going on with that, I wanted to tell you some things that you might want to consider doing. Two of them are transportation kind of things. One is the Segway tours. Florida has a few different places where you can visit and kind of drive your own Segway. You know what a Segway is, right? It's one of those two-wheeled scooter things that you stand on, and some kind of a what do you call it, like a gyroscope, kind of a balancing device in it. I think that's how that works. And you can sightsee while you glide on a Segway. It's a kind of a cool thing. So let me tell you about some of them. And the other one that I'll tell you about after the Segways is the places you can go and ride in a hot air balloon. So if you're looking for the perfect gift for somebody, you might want to consider either a hot air balloon ride or a Segway adventure. So let me find some of those for you. Actually, you can take an Epcot Segway. This, of course, you'd have to pay to get into Epcot. Guests to Epcot can experience the Segway for themselves at the World Showcase. Guests are allowed to operate the two-wheeled, one-person transportation device throughout the World Showcase before the area opens to other guests. Is that right? Innoventions, Epcot's technology playground, has featured the first public display of the Segway HT for 13 years now. Wow, who knew that? The display includes interactive stations and daily demonstrations by cast members on how the product works. So I've never ridden on a Segway. It's a 2-hour experience, and you get to go there before the other guests are there. So obviously you have to get there early, so call Walt Disney World to find out more about that one. And then in St. Pete, there's one at the Museum of History. You can walk into the past or take a glide into the future on a Segway. It's something called Bayside Tours. They've teamed up with the St. Petersburg Museum of History to give you a walk into the past or a glide into the future on a Segway. Enjoy this new high-tech way to enjoy the sights and sounds of the beautiful waterfront St. Petersburg while you take advantage of the photo opportunities. It's only, it's not cheap though. It's $50. It's 1.5 hour tour. It goes from 10:30 or between 10:30 and 3 o'clock, Tuesday through Saturday, and they're $50. Well, it's not cheap, huh?
No, not at all.
So what did we find out? Anything about our guy?
Nope. I left a message on his personal cell phone, Jim DeBerry's cell phone. I called the main number for Silver Springs and Wild Waters. Their mailbox is full. They're not accepting any messages. No real people are answering the phone. All of the options I went to, they're all just recorded messages instructing us to leave a message on the main line, which is all full. So there is no way to get in touch with a real person at Silver Springs or Wild Waters.
So what I have done instead, since we don't have our alligator guy here, I found two different fun things you can do in Florida. I found Segway tours and hot air balloon tours.
Oh, nice.
And if it sounds like you have to have a few dollars either way, because so far the only two I've told anybody about are the Epcot Segway tours, which you have to pay to get to Epcot. Obviously, it's like $100 or something, right?
Yeah.
And then the one at St. Petersburg, it's $50 for a 1.5 hour tour. So we'll take a little break, and I think it's coming up in just a second, and we'll be right back with more of that. I actually have some more of the Segways too, so I didn't tell you all the Segways yet. There's a few of them. There's one in the Everglades. Speaking of alligators, I think I'd rather be on a Segway in the Everglades. But there's a concrete sidewalk, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, the alligators, if they want lunch, they're gonna.
Alligators will cross. We'll be right back.
That's right.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident for today. Intervals of clouds and sunshine with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, mainly during the afternoon hours, the high 87 to 91. Partly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm around, especially along the coast. The overnight low 68 to 72. Partly sunny tomorrow with a thunderstorm or two in the area, high 84 to 88. And for Thursday, partly sunny, high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779. Come join New Male Medical, the experts in men's sexual health, and celebrate the opening of their newest location in the Villages this Friday from 11 to 1 at 8640 County Road 466. That's at the Santa Fe crossing on 466 going towards Rolling Acres. There will be free food and refreshments for all in attendance. Spend some time touring the facilities, and men get a free testosterone screening. For more information, call 404-4779. That's 404-4779.
If you're a man who deworms with Synanthic, your boots probably look as good as this sounds. But if you're a man who doesn't use Synanthic, then your boots undoubtedly look as terrible as this. Because only Synanthic delivers the ultimate in parasite protection with low volume and less waste. So dewormer goes only where it's supposed to, and not in your boots. Synanthic is also fast, which means less handling time, less stress on your cattle, and less mess for you. So you can deworm more efficiently with less dewormer. And with peak blood absorption in only 20 hours, Synanthic blows away the competition and keeps working longer than the leading brand. Be a Synanthic man and get more deworming done with less dewormer. Visit your local animal health supplier and pick up Synanthic today.
All right, 18 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so we're talking about some of the cool things that you could do. Kind of a fill-in right now, if you will, because we were a little bit disappointed. But I wanted to be in the same flavor as talking about Wild Waters. Wild Waters was and is exciting. They've got a ribbon cutting this Friday, and you have to be invited to the ribbon cutting. I apologize for mentioning it as if the public was invited, because I thought the public was invited.
Yeah, because the Chamber and Economic Partnership did not tell us it was a by invitation only event.
So anyway, our fault on that one. We'll take the heat. I know you don't want to accept.
I know, but we always take the heat. We always say it's our fault.
And anyway,
we do.
It's because you're from Wisconsin.
That's right.
So anyway, so instead we're talking about some other things you could do. For example, the Segway tours, and it turns out there's a lot more of them. I won't go through all of them, but if you just go to goflorida.com, there's a whole list of them on there. So let me switch over to the page that talks about the hot air balloons. It's something I've always wanted to do, by the way.
That is
I've always wanted to do the Segway also.
Uh-huh.
The Segway, obviously you're just riding around on a scooter, but a two-wheeled scooter, but still,
Yeah.
I've never ridden a Segway. They say it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
Don't we have some Segways here in the mall?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
What are those things
Well,
I see people riding around in the mall with the fur? What are those things? Just
I
little
don't know.
animals? You just
I
ride
don't
these
know.
little animals on wheels?
You rent those. It's
you rent
a
them?
private entity, and you go
Oh, okay.
there and you rent them.
Well, let's
and
rent
you,
one.
You ride away.
Can you come out here on the sidewalk?
Well, Carol tried it. One time we had a
And do
live
wheelies?
remote at Vanguard High School.
Right.
And Carol and I went there to do the live remote for WOCA a few years ago. And there was one of the police officers there, and he, Carol said she'd like to ride one of those. So I asked the fellow if she could ride one, and she did, and it was hard. It's hard to get on
Hard
there.
to get the knack of it?
Yeah, but I mean, after she was on there a few minutes, then she got the knack. But I mean, so she had a good time. It was a lot of fun doing that remote, and we had a good time.
All right, so here's the hot air thing. If you want to ride a hot air balloon, you know what I always wanted to do too? One of those helicopter rides.
Uh-huh.
Have a helicopter ride in Orlando. Yeah, they go over Disney World and all
Yep.
that.
Yep, you go over this.
Anyway, so the hot air balloon. Expect to report for your hot air balloon experience very early in the morning. I think everybody knows that hot air balloons go up easier when it's cool outside. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means they come down quicker when it's hot.
Yeah.
They go up an hour or so before sunrise. The reason for this is that winds are at the calmest around sunrise. Mm-hmm. And gradually increase as the sun rises. So pilots prefer to fly as early in the day as possible, balloon pilots that would be. Mm-hmm. If your meeting place is a hotel or a business, you will be transported to the balloon launch area, usually in a large empty field.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what you're riding in, that's what you get too, okay?
Right, because you need an area for them to take off.
So it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for them to unload, unpack, inflate, and begin the ascent. Balloons may travel from treetop heights to several thousand feet, and your flight will last about an hour. Mm-hmm. Not bad, huh?
No, it's wonderful.
What do you think it cost about?
I'll start at $100.
$160 is what it starts at.
Oh, there you go.
Adults in balloons, $160 upward per person.
Yeah.
And some companies are offering one child free with a paid adult. Mm-hmm. One child free.
Yeah.
So again, I'm getting this from goflorida.com, and let's see. There's one. There's a couple in Tampa, a couple in Orlando. Oh, there's one in the Villages.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me click on this one in the Villages. It's called Bums in Paradise.
I like that.
Bums in Paradise. Mm-hmm. Now look at this. Bums in Paradise. What is it with Wisconsin and Florida? Bums in Paradise is in northeast Wisconsin and the Villages.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course. People love moving to Florida from Wisconsin.
Bums in Paradise is a Wisconsin limited liability company with more than 10 years of hot air balloon operations, flying passengers during the summer months in the Appleton-Fox Valley area of Wisconsin.
Oh, how beautiful.
Do you know where that is?
Oh, I do. Appleton, sure.
The pilot, who has over 40 years aviation experience, 10,000 hours flying airplanes, gliders, seaplanes, and hot air balloons, recently retired. And moved to, guess where? The Villages.
Oh, how nice.
So in the winter months, this is when you can get a hot air balloon. That would be nice, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Bums in Paradise only provides private charter flights, which is 2 or 3 passengers. Well, that's all you would expect.
Sure.
In a balloon, what do you call that thing? The basket?
The gondola.
The gondola.
I think they call the basket a gondola. I'm not sure, though.
The flights are designed to give you time to reflect on the beauty that surrounds us. Well, of course, that's why you go, right?
Yeah.
Sharing a special moment with somebody you care about. Isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. So, does this one say how much it is? Oh, my gosh. This is not cheap. Okay. All hot air balloon flights. How much?
You said a 160 before, and that's not cheap for me right now.
Well, that was the
either.
bottom, and that depends on which
Yeah.
one you go to. A private flight for 2 passengers. Well, this is okay for 2. $450.
Oh, so that's $225.
$225 a
then.
person.
Yeah.
3 passengers is $600, so that's $200 a person.
I wonder if those are champagne flights too.
You mean?
because
Oh, you mean
some-
they drink champagne?
Yeah, because sometimes you can get hot air balloon rides, and then you can get hot air balloon rides with the champagne flight. Like you get snacks and champagne, at
Okay.
the end.
I went up in a hot air balloon one time.
Yes, you
How,
did.
how high did I go? 60 feet?
Yeah.
It was tethered.
Yep, it was by
I went
Remax.
up with Peggy Pittis.
Yeah, Peggy Pittis, Remax Realty. We did a remote there
was
in
fun.
Bellevue. Yeah,
That was
a lot of
fun.
people came to partake in the ride. A lot of the listeners
But
did.
but you know, I didn't
thank you.
really experience it. You know why? Because I was doing a radio broadcast. So I was
Yeah.
more in. I was more focused on talking.
Yep, you were on the air,
Yeah.
up in the air, 60 feet.
All right, so there's another one here. All it says is Central Florida. It doesn't. Let's see if it says where. Okay.
One day we'll do this.
This one flies 7 days a week in the Walt Disney World Resort area of Orlando, as well as Kissimmee, Polk City, Auburndale, Lakeland, Winter Haven, Tampa, Haines City, and Sebring. So all of those cities are places where you can go.
When we used to go to Church Street Station when the children were growing up, they had hot air balloon rides, and we were told that Michael Jackson would frequent it. Remember, he would have his own hot air balloon, and
didn't
then
know
he
that.
would he would take off from Church Street, the rooftop.
Oh, I
part,
do remember that. I do
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Never saw him, but that's what we were told.
All right, so this one down in the one I just read, which is called Balloons and Beyond, they start at $350 per person,
Wow.
$500 for 2 people. So it
Gosh.
drops down to drops 100. Do you need me? I can hardly see you with the glare. No, you don't need me. Okay. All right. Let's see. And one more do I have here? I guess that's it. All right.
Okay.
So those are the Segway rides, the balloon rides, and I do have one more thing. It is the zip lines. Now we have a zip line here in Ocala, don't we?
Yeah, Zipline Canyon Tour is out by 326.
Well, you know the whole thing, huh? A few years ago, the big thing in adventure tours was Segways, it says here. Today, it's zipline adventures. Well, I'm still living in the past, so I haven't done my Segway. I haven't gotten it out of my system yet. Whether you're hooked on the adventure of ziplining or you'd like to, or you'd never think you'd try it, let's see.
Yeah, there used to be a restaurant downtown. They gave Segway tours.
There's one at a crocodile crossing. You zip line across the alligator farm in St. Augustine.
Oh, how cool. How cool is that?
Just don't have any dead chickens hanging from you.
Well, maybe that's extra. Maybe for a thriller ride, you can.
In St. Cloud, they have a
pay
zip line
extra.
called Florida Eco Safaris. This is where you zip line over treetops. These are much cheaper than the other things. These are like $25, $65, depending on which one you go. Then there's one in Milton. Soar over the Wolf Creek and Big Coldwater Creek in North Florida on the ultimate zipline adventure.
Wow.
That's a 5-hour adventure.
Wow.
I guess it's not just ziplining.
How cool is that?
That one is $89. And then in Gatorland in Orlando, there's the Screamin' Gator zip line, 65 feet above the marsh filled with alligators and crocodiles.
And we've been there. We've taken the kids there.
Why would
to
you do that?
Gatorland.
I said,
that was so cool.
I
A
mean,
little bit of thrill.
just give yourself a scare. Oh, here's the one that you were talking about in Ocala, the Canyons zip line, Ocala.
Yep.
For just $89, participants must be 10 years old or older and weigh between 70 and 270 pounds. Mm-hmm. I got to lose some weight, Joe, to do this one. Yeah.
I'll take video. You and Joe can go zip lining, and I'll put the video.
Well, it'll be a while before I'm down to that weight. And there's one in Kissimmee. Oh, the Central Florida Zoo and Botanical Gardens has one in Sanford.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Oh, really? That's $48.25.
Yeah. Central Florida. I remember when they constructed that, they sent out a press release, and you could go see it on their website. It just looks so cool.
And Daytona Beach has one too. Take a break from the beach and see Daytona Beach like it's never been seen before from the tops of the trees. Tarzan never had this much fun. Courses include challenging workout and the exhilarating ride along zip lines. Prices range from $20.95 to $34.95. It's not too bad.
No,
So those are some. And again, just so you know where I'm getting all this from, so you can look it up yourself, because I'm not reading all of it to you. It's from GoFlorida.com. GoFlorida.com.
Nice.
I think Joe Reichel is up next.
Yep.
I think
he's scheduled to be here.
If the Alligator Man comes during Joe Reichel's time, just have to wait.
That's right.
If the alligator causes any damage, then we'll ask Joe to fix the damage.
Exactly, and he will.
That's what he does. All right. Hang in there. You're listening to The Source, WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back with Joe Reichel and Damage Control. Make sure you get your questions in. If you're trying to do it yourself repair job on something, he'll help you out with that. We'll be right back.